Welcome to Silent Stacks. Here we focus on silently stacking the bag while navigating uncertainty in real time. Welcome to my channel. I post 3 videos per month, one on the 8th, one on the 17th, and one on the 26th of each month. If you find value in my work, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's dive right in. Alright, so here we have the Bitcoin chart. Looking at a daily on the Silent Stacks indicator, we did tag green above the 200 daily EMA. That's what we were waiting for. So this is the confirmation of the start of the bull market. So I'll show you the examples here. So back in January 2023, Bitcoin tagged green above the 200 daily, and that was the start of the bull market. Back in April of 2019, Bitcoin tagged green, and that was the start of the bull market. In July of 2015, Bitcoin tagged green here, which was the early signs of the bull market, and continued the bull market. So we officially got the confirmation of the early signs of the bull market. But like usual, you're going to have a huge group of people speculating that this is still not a confirmation. And that's what we want. We want uncertainty. So let them speculate while we focus in the macro view. Now I want to show you the next step, what Bitcoin tends to do. You'll see these examples as the green and red box. So let's start with 2015. Bitcoin runs into the green box, it stalls here, and eventually goes to the red box. And after the red box is confirmed, we go to all-time high. Here in 2019 was a lot more aggressive. Bitcoin rallied straight into the red box, and then we consolidated between the red box and the green box for almost 500 days. And then once it accepts the red box, it goes into all-time high and eventually price discovery. Here in 2022, run into the green box, it stalls, eventually makes its way to the red box. And after the red box is confirmed, we go to the all-time high and price discovery. So here we are. We have the early signs of Bitcoin tagging green above the 200 daily EMA, check number one. And now we have the green box. So 2 iterations. The common iteration is that we stall into this green box to find some kind of acceptance. And then once we accept it, we run into the red box. And then once the red box accepted, we go into the all-time high and eventually price discovery. What I thought interesting is that this is just a fun fact. This aggressive move was during Trump administration. I would not be shocked that it just continues rally into the red box. And I will find it very interesting if it happens again in the Trump administration. But both iterations are valid. Either we stall here, eventually go to the red, or we shoot straight to the red. We're going to find out in the coming weeks and months. So for those who are accumulating March and August, you're probably sitting comfortable now because now you don't have to play the guessing game. Are we going to dump from here or are we going to pump from here? You're already ready for the bull market. Now, if you do not have enough exposure, where should you enter? Well, I'll share with you what I would do if I were you. If I have sidelined capital, I will still say this is a dollar cost average. So this is when I use the silent stacks indicator to help. So we're still below this buy and we're still in the green. Green is still a buy for me. Can we go down from here? Of course we could. The level that I'm watching is 71.7, which is the last time the silent stacks indicator printed a buy. So if it gets revisited here, that will be a gift. Now, if you're FOMOing, that's never a good thing. That means you don't have enough exposure. So if you are betting on it to go lower, I don't think that's the best move. It's better to divide your entry. So if you have sideline capital, why not enter 25% here, 25% here if we get it, and then maybe 25% here if we get it. And now you're already beginning to enter the market instead of guessing because we could continue up from here. I don't know what's going to happen from here. Right now, I'm just waiting to collect more data. And for those who are accumulating March and August, now you're just sitting pretty, waiting for price action to reveal itself. You're not fumbling, you're not emotional, you're not chasing the market. But no worries, if you are chasing the market, there's no shame in entering even after it pumped. And don't go all in, divide it by 4, that's just an example, and start entering. And then let's say you start entering here, and then in a month we are still here. Then that could be a good time to maybe enter again. So there's many ways to do it. Nothing I say in this channel is financial advice. For this cycle, based on the Bitcoin dominance, I am speculating that Bitcoin will have less return and alt will have a better return. In this channel, I've been focusing on Ethereum and XRP. So before we go into the Ethereum and XRP analysis, let's review the eclipse energy. So this is what I was watching. My speculation was that we're going to bottom either March or August. And the recent eclipses that I was observing was the August one. We had two interesting ones over here. And I speculated that the release of energy was going to be here. Okay, so here's the Bitcoin chart. The yellow line is the solar eclipse, and then the red line is the partial lunar eclipse. I wanted to see where Bitcoin closed on this lunar eclipse partial, which is August 27th to 28th. So that's coming up in the next 2 or 3 days. So usually the lunar eclipse are when you see the black swans, but because we had the release of energy in this eclipse, then at least Bitcoin is price protected. So that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see this price protection. Not only Bitcoin is price protected, but Ethereum is price protected. XRP is price protected. So this is what I wanted to see. So if any black swan does actually come, then at least these assets are price protected. But because we had the release of energy already and we already started tagging green above the 200 daily, then I'm not as worried about this lunar eclipse because my speculation was since it's partial, would it have the same energy? And that's what I wanted to find out. And so far, it's looking a bit different. But things are looking good because of the release. But if we are to get some kind of correction, then I do believe that the Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP is a lot more price protected than it was down here. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks. No matter what happens, I believe the bull market started. Let's go over the Ethereum analysis. Let's zoom out here. We run into the green. We stabilize into the green. This time it was stabilizing below the green, even better for accumulators. And then once we accepted the green, we jump into the red. And then once we accept the red, we go into the all-time high and eventually price discovery. So this is an extended cycle of Ethereum. Ethereum was price suppressed last cycle, but when you zoom out, everything's going according to plan. So this is what I see. We have the green over here, accepting it, and then we rallied into the red, and the red acted as resistance. And then here, it expressed its resistance by going back into the green, and then the green was protected, and then we made a higher high. So I believe that Ethereum already expressed this red resistance over here. And this is now a sign of strength. So right here, so this is a sign of strength. And the market makers were not ready to release into price discovery, so it decided to do a backup phase. So the backup phase was over here. It created a higher high. So a backup phase after the sign of strength, the next move should be all-time high and then eventually price discovery. So technically this red box is a resistance, but since the resistance expressed itself here, I no longer see this as being resistance. Now the market maker might start fooling us and making this act like resistance, but I don't think this is a resistance because of the schematic. So this is what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing this as a resistance anymore. And if we are to get a pullback from this point, anywhere close to the green would be a gift. The only resistance I really see is all-time high. Let's zoom in the Ethereum chart and put the silent stacks indicator on daily. Ethereum tag green above the 200 daily EMA. That's the first signs of the bull market. And here we are in this green box from this schematic. Two iterations that we've been observing, either stabilize here and then eventually go, or we just go from here and act as a minor resistance over here. Both valid, and we'll find out in the next coming weeks. If you feel FOMO, it means you don't have enough exposure. If you want exposure to assets, then dollar cost average. We're still in the green. Divide your entries. Maybe enter 25% here, and then if we get a pullback, you start averaging down because we could just continue going up from here. Now, what I like to do with the silent stacks indicator is I look at previous entries. Ethereum could still potentially print a buy around here. We'll see soon. But since I don't have a buy signal yet, I like to look at the previous buys. So we had these over here. Price did not go here, so this is irrelevant to us. Then we had this buy and we had this buy. Price went right here and it reacted beautifully as a buy. And we also have this buy over here. So I'm monitoring these levels now. So if Ethereum is supposed to pull back, I'll be watching about 2,300 to 2,000. If we actually correct from here, I would say that's a gift. But unfortunately, that will be a second chance for many. That's why I'm leaning towards more of a stronger consolidation. Anything could happen. We'll find out in the next coming weeks. XRP, same thing. The minor adjustment on the silent stacks indicator did print a buy over here at 1.3 and then also at 1.08. So the levels that I'm watching for XRP would be that range. Okay, 130 to 1.08. And if you want a better analysis on XRP, make sure you check the previous video I made last week. I will link it over here for you to check it out. This is probably going to be the best XRP analysis you ever see. This will help you plan years in advance. And so far, it's playing out beautifully. We were expecting this price protection and we got it. I'm going to keep the analysis short for now, and then I'll come back what we do after this lunar energy, because there is a chart that I want to share with you guys on XRP. This chart over here, I did say I was going to talk about it in this video, but I'm going to leave it for next video. I want to give it time for the month to close, which we close in 4 days. All right, so after this month closes, we'll talk about this chart. So if you are interested, stay tuned. I'll be posting it on September 8th. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found value, make sure you like the video. I post 3 times per month, one on the 8th, one on the 17th, and one on the 26th of each month. If you like my work, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. You can also follow me on X at 24/7 Stacks for quicker updates. You are in the right place at the right time. Until next time, take care.